Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru Shrotriya Sri Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara, on behalf of all of us, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Spruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyam. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time, the shloka number 412, we had stopped here. So from shloka number 413, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue by the grace of the Sadguru himself. In these shlokas, the next set of shlokas and the previous two shlokas, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada was mainly is concentrating and explaining the ultimate significance of Atmajnana or Brahmajnana. In other words, in our simple terms, the realization and its phala, the importance of realization or salvation, and the reward of that, or in significance of realization itself. And last time, the last verse, the bigger one, it was stopped at the keywords Acharya explaining to his disciple, who is the Uttamottam Adhikari, Uttama Jijnasu, a qualified disciple, that how at the dawn of the jnana itself, during the final stages of sadhana, a mumukshu or a jijnasu or the spiritual aspirant should behave or should concentrate on certain subtle points of Vedanta. And the key words he used was Shariram Arat Shavavat Nirastam Punarna Sandhatta Idam Mahatma. The word Mahatma is used by Acharya himself. Shloka number 414. Punarna Sandhatta Idam Mahatma. We had stopped there last. So the point simply was told was Mahatma here means actually the realized master himself, Tattvavetta himself, Brahmajnani himself, Atmajnani himself. So after the Sakshatkar, after realizing the true identity of himself, that he is nothing but the same Pratyekatma Swarupa, no more he is identifying himself with the body-mind complex. This Sthula Sharira and the subtle Sharira or Linga Sharira, including the Karana Sharira, the causal body. So he detaches himself from the physical body concept, from the subtle body concept and the causal body concept totally, once for all. The detachment is 100% perfect. He is no more attached to the body complex. As all of us, without our knowledge from birth to death, we are all bound by this, what is called as a subtle-most sharirabhimana. We are attached to our body, mind, consciousness. We always think that I am this particular body of the particular gender with a particular name, fame, and status. Whereas a jnani is beyond this concept of identifying himself with the body anymore. So please bear in your mind that here Acharya is explaining the highest, the pinnacle of the truth, and subsequently the effect of the dawn of the jnana in the behavior of a jnani. Outwardly, he looks the same, but there is a total inner transformation. The vision has completely taken a totally different change at all. The perception is different. Like the way we perceive worldly matters, the way we consider ourselves as a body with a name and status because of the ego factor, jnani is no more. He is beyond the ego factor. He is beyond the body factor. So that is the point. So after realization, Acharya says the word Mahatma here. He is no more. He will no more accept the body as mine. That is the point. That is the point. Punarna sandhatta idam Mahatma. Punarna sandhatta idam. Idam means this body. This body means body, mind, consciousness. He will not accept na sandhatta idam. He will not accept that I am this body anymore. So that was the point. Because this body, for him, for a jnani, it is a shavavat swarupa. It is like a corpse. The body is there today. Once the prana sanchara goes out of the body, along with the jivatma or the jiva, the body becomes a dead body, a corpse. And it will decay. It will be destroyed. So that attachment from that sense for a jnani is no more. See, the idea last time it was explained. For a jnani, his own body is like a corpse. This point, very difficult for people like common men, common people like us to understand why Acharya calls it as Shavavat. The body is like a corpse. Not for you and me. It is for a jnani. The way the jnani looks at it. So that was the point. We'll come to that slightly later, the same point. Next, the shloka here. Satata vimala bodhananda rupam sametya Tyaja jadamala rupopadhimetam sudure atha punarapi naisha smaryatam vantavastu sparana vishaya bhutam kalpate kutsnaya Satata vimala bodhananda rupam sametya Tyaja jadamala rupopadhimetam sudure atha punarapi naisha smaryatam vantavastu ಸ್ಮರಣ ವಿಷಯ ಭೂತಂ ಕಲ್ಪತೆ ಕುತ್ಸ್ನಾಯ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನೋತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಉಂಟಾದ ನಂತರ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನು ಆ ನಿರ್ಮಲ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾದ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ರೂಪವಾದಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅನುಭವಿಸಿದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಡ ಮಲಿನ ರೂಪವಾದಂತಹ ಈ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೇಹವನ್ನ ಅವರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ನೀನು ಸಹ ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ತ್ಯಜ ಜಡ ಮಲ ರೂಪೋಪಾದಿಮೇತಂ ಸುದೂರೆ. ಈ ಮಲಿನವಾದ, ಜಡವಾದ, ನಿಷ್ಪ್ರಯೋಜಕವಾದ ಶವರೀತಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ದೇಹಾಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನ ನೀನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡು, ಈಗಲೇ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡು, ಈಗಲೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದೂರದಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡು. ನಾನು ಇಂಥ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು ಇಂಥವಳು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಭಾವನೆ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ರ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ರ ದೇಹ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಡ. ಬಹಳ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಥ ಪುನರಪಿ ನೈಷ ಸ್ಮರ್ಯತಾಂ ವಾಂತವಸ್ತು ಸ್ಮರಣ ವಿಷಯಭೂತಂ ಕಲ್ಪತೆ ಕುತ್ಸನಾಯ. ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದವನ್ನು ಸವಿದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ದೇಹದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಬೇಡ. ಇದನ್ನ ಮರೆತು ಬಿಡು, ದೂರ ತಳ್ಳಿ ಹಾಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದಿಂದ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಹಾರ ಜೀರ್ಣವಾಗದೆ ತಿಂದ ಆಹಾರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗ, ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಿದಾಗ ವಾಂತಿ ಬರೋದು ಸಹಜ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ವಾಂತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗಿಂದನೇ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತು. ಆದರೆ ಆ ವಾಂತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದರೆ, ನಮ್ಮದೇ ವಾಂತಿಯನ್ನ ಸ್ಮರಿಸಿದರೆ ಅಸಹ್ಯ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ದೇಹದಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿದ್ದಂತಹ ವಾಂತಿ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೂ ಅಸಹ್ಯ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಸಹ್ಯ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈ ದೇಹವನ್ನು ದೂರ ಮಾಡು ಅನ್ನು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ with an example, Acharya is dealing here that if you realize your true nature, my dear disciple, which is permanent, eternal, only one sadvastu, always blissful, it is Paramananda Swarupa, then give up this body attachment. Throw this upadi that you are the body. This body is a jada. This body is ultimately, it is going to be destroyed. It will decompose itself after the death. So either it is buried or it is burnt. Once the jiva gets away from the body, once a death occurs, nobody will like the dead body to be with them forever in their homes. They will throw it away, they burn it away, or they bury it, depending on their concepts, religious beliefs. Like that, you throw the body out. In the sense, Acharya, what he means here, he gives an example. Look, my dear disciple, see, when due to unknown reasons, supposing after eating, when somebody vomits out, see the vomit, when it comes out of the body, you yourself, you feel highly dejected to look at that or even to think on that. If you try to remember your own vomit, you become totally disgusted. You don't associate. The mind becomes disturbed when you look at your own vomit. When you vomit something out, you can't even see that, what is there on the ground. It's a common knowledge. So do you recollect and do you remember your own vomit every time? You become fully disgustful even to think of the word vomit. Like that, a jnani is disgusted to think about his own body, that because he knows he is no more the body. The body is a upadhi for a jnani. He knows that he is a pure Atma Swarupa, stuck in this body made up of 5 elements. Body made up of 5 Panchamahabhutas, which is going to be destroyed today or tomorrow. So that is the point. So don't think too much of the body. Don't give too much importance to the body, because whatever vomit we vomit out, even the very thinking of the vomit brings only disgust in our mind. atha punarapi naisha smaryatam vantavastu smarana vishaya bhutam kalpate kutsnanaya. Smarana vishaya bhutam vantavastu kutsnanaya kalpate. It becomes the moment the word vomit enters your mind, even before looking your own vomit, whatever you have vomited out on the ground, you feel totally disgusted. Like that, don't be too much attached to the body. That's the main inner point. Don't be too much attached to the body. Now, slight digress here to explain this point. Last time at the fag end of the discourse, this point was there. There was no much time to explain. Please pardon me if I try to explain little more on this. See how Atmajnanis, Brahmajnanis behave and how common people, Ajnanis, we behave about our own body. See, we are bound by our body-mind complex. We are with the ego, we are with the Sharira Abhimana. Whereas a Jnani, a realized master, is beyond the Sharira Abhimana. His ego is destroyed. He no more considers himself as a body, physical body, which includes subtle body. And of course, causal body is cut. Karana Sharira is totally cut. The Ajnana is gone. Avidya has gone. That is the primordial ignorance. Ever since so many births, that is gone for a Jnani. Now, why Acharya is harping on this point about the physical body? Why he is concentrating on this? Why he is advising his disciple? Please remember, these are the instructions to the highly qualified disciple given by Adi Shankaracharya 1200 years before. To the highest qualified disciple, he is giving the... So these instructions normally, generally, not meant for a common man. That is a problem. As a Ajnani, as a common man, when I try to sit and understand Viveka Chudamani, certain things will not enter our head because we are equating ourselves as I am so and so. I have a name and a status and a fame. I have a responsibility. I'm a married person. I'm a householder. I'm a common man. I'm a businessman. I'm a highly intellectual. I'm a company director, etc., etc. So I have the set feeling. And I think I have a lot of duties in the life, lot of aspirations in life, lot of desires in life. I have to fulfill so many desires. I have a family to run. I have people to look after. I have my children to look after. I have my husband or wife to look after. I have my parents to look after. All these things we are bound by in the worldly sense, at the worldly level. That is true. But look at the Mahatmas. Look at the Brahmavits. Look at the realized masters. I'll give you one or two small examples to make this point very clear. Very briefly, see, at the time of Mahasamadhi, in 1950s, I'm talking 1950, in Tiruvannamalai, if you go through the life history of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, every one of us, we know how Bhagavan, the realized master himself, a great Paramajnani himself, a great Advaitin himself, how he conducted himself about his own body. He was totally aloof. Totally aloof. When it was discovered that there is a cancerous growth on the upper arm, the left upper arm, the devotees, they were very much disgusted. They were, they became restless that Bhagwan got a cancer on the upper arm. But Bhagwan never bothered too much on that. And they convinced him to undergo the operation in those days, whatever available operation. So the tumor was growing and giving a lot of problems. It was so painful. Bhagwan never complained on that. And they forced him to undergo an operation. And for the sake of the devotee, he said, okay, yes. And again, after a few months, the tumor again came back. The cancerous tumor, malignant tumor came back. Again, the devotees forced and requested, begged Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi to go for second operation. Even for that, ultimately he conceded. And at one point, he said, you people are giving too much importance to this body. This body itself is a disease to me, he said. I may not be able to quote exact Tamil words quoted by Bhagwan. Just I am offering to you. You are giving too much importance to this body, Bhagwan said. This body itself is a disease to me. But he conceded because of the forcible, constant, repeated pleas made by the devotees. And for their sake, the compassionate Bhagwan went in for second surgery for the cancerous, tumorous growth. And also, he had the knee joint pain all the time due to the effects of the old age of the physical body. And he never complained about that to anyone. See, that is how they remained nirlipta, nirvikara, totally unconcerned about their own body. No doubt, devotees are more concerned. But the jnani himself is no more concerned about his own body or physical body. Look at the final stages before Mahasamadhi of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He had a throat cancer. Even swallowing became difficult. Even liquid food could not go because of the such powerful pain in the throat. And smilingly he suffered. Smilingly he suffered. He never considered himself as a body. And if you recently go into the life history of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj from Mumbai, who took Mahasamadhi, I think in 1981, in Mumbai. He was having a throat cancer in the final stages of his lifetime. He never bothered too much on that. These are all examples, recorded examples. How Mahatmas look upon their own body, least bothered, no sharirabhimana. And for the sake of clarity, which I am a witness to myself, I will give you about our Gurudev's nature. A realized Brahmajnani, how our Gurudev treated his own body. That is very important. He had a sciatica pain, which I know personally. He never professed to anyone. Even sitting for a long time, standing for a long time was with great pain it used to create on the right thigh, from the right pelvic girdle downwards, up to the right foot. Tremendous pain because of the nerve pull, sciatic nerve. It is called in medical terms sciatica pain. He suffered that pain without telling anyone. And later, there was a neuropathy in the legs because of that. And several times he fell down while getting up from the bed or while trying to stand up on the ground from the bed. He fell down number of times. Number of times, not once or twice. Nobody knows. He told me privately. On one occasion, he just He got up and fell down. And for the next 45 minutes, there was terrific pain, but he never uttered a word and he was immobile, helpless, not in a condition to move. He was on the ground. Till after 40 minutes or so, when the one attendant came to his kutira and saw the Gurudev fallen flat on the ground, immediately he was attended to. And most of our devotees don't know that our Gurudev had hernia problem. For 3-4 years, he never told anyone that he has hernia problem. The perforation of the abdominal area where through the small intestines loops, they just hang down. Hernia problem with so much pain. And he used to tell me that he will tie a cloth around his lower waist body to control this further, hernia enlarging. The perforation should not become so enlarged that the whole of the small intestine will drag down. Later, he never went for any operation. He never went for any consultation. He always refused any allopathic consultation. But when we convinced that at least for hernia, operation is required, so that not only the pain factor, even the normal agility, the movement of the person, which is totally affected by hernia, that can come back. It is a very minor operation. So, with too much of perseverance, persuasion, convincing methods, he was brought in by then the additional chief secretary of the Karnataka state and Mr. Pandey and Mr. K.P. Rao, the surgeon at that time it was called Narayana Hrudayala, run by Dr. Devi Shetty. On the Vasur Road near Electronic City, beyond Electronic City area, towards Vasur, main road, there is a famous hospital now it's called Narayana Health City. It is run by Dr. Devi Shetty, a noble soul. A famous hospital. He was brought into that. And with the only condition, our Gurudev said, for your sake, I come over there, but I will not be an inpatient. You just conduct the operation, I'll run away. I'll come back to my kutiram. People said yes, and he was brought in. Operation was done. After operation, he was taken to a VIP suite room for resting purpose. He was there only for 1 hour or 1.5 hours in the VIP suite of the hospital. Then he left. He said, I'll go back. Meanwhile, I remember very well, Dr. Devi Shetty, the founder head of Narayana Health City, that famous hospital in Bangalore, he came down all the way to the room where Gurudev was resting after operation. Dr. Devi Shetty removed his shoes, entered the room with folded hands, prostrated to our Gurudev. And Dr. Devi Shetty said that such a great Mahatman has visited our hospital for some treatment and we are all highly blessed. See, that is reverence. That is reverence. And Gurudev blessed him and immediately left. He never bothered. Never bothered about the body. I still remember, funnily, one small incident. After the remaining few teeth, when Gurudev wanted them to be extracted completely, we went to the dentist. He removed all the teeth and then prescribed so many medicines, including antibiotic, to be taken for the next 3-4 days. And a lot of tablets were given to our Gurudev. And Gurudev, when he returned to the Kutiram from Bangalore, he threw away all the allopathic drugs given by the dental doctor. All the drugs. He did not consume a single tablet. And he was all right. No, these things I am telling you, how jnanis are not concerned more as we are concerned about our body. They are beyond that. What is bare necessity required for maintenance of the body, they will do that. As per the prarabdha, body has to sustain, body has to live, body has to eat, body has to defecate, body has to excrete. Accordingly, some food has to go to the body for the energy purpose. That much they do. Whatever basic necessities, that is carried out by a jnani like you and me. But the desire is not there. The passion is not there. Pampering the body is not there. Giving too much importance to their own body, it is not there in any jnani. That is the difference. That is the difference. See, that's what Acharya is hinting here in these slokas. So at the time of the dawn of the jnana and after the attainment of the jnana, when a realization occurs, when a jnana dawns in, when sakshatkara occurs, how a jnani behaves, that is what Bhagavad Pada is telling here. He is not telling from your and my point of view. We may not appreciate and understand what Bhagavad Pada is telling. He is referring to the purest of the pure, Vishuddha Sattva mental state of a Paramajnani. That is a point we have to remember here, so that we will understand these things so well. I can add one more point here to make it very clear. Even in Bhagavad Gita, in the 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga, while talking about the nature of jnana and talking about a jnani, Lord Krishna Paramatma tells Arjuna, he uses so many words in the entire course of 700 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita about a jnani. At one place, he calls a jnani as a Buddha. At one place, he calls him as Panditaha. At one place, he calls him as Samadarshi. At one place, he calls him as Sthita Prajna. At one place, he calls him as Tattvavit. These are all words used by Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita to denote a jnani or a realized master. Jnani here means the one who has realized his true nature, his own swarup. In the 3rd chapter, there is a famous sloka. Arjuna was told, Lord says to Arjuna about how a jnani behaves in the world and how it differs from others. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartante. If you split there, it becomes vartante. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. Iti matva na sajjate. Sajjate. Tattvavit na sajjate. There is a point where Lord says like that. Bhagavad Giteಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಭಗವಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಆತ ಗುಣಕರ್ಮಗಳ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಗುಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ವರ್ತನೆ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತವೆ ಎಂದು ಆತನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆತ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂದೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇತಿ ಮತ್ವಾನ ಸಜ್ಜತೆ. ಆತ ನಿರ್ಲಿಪ್ತನಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಗುಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆತನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆತ ಅದರ ಮೋಡಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ in that shloka, Krishna Paramatma is telling, a wise man knowing that everything is modification of only one Prakriti. Everything, the sentient world, the world which appears, everything, living, non-living, put together, is a modification of only one Prakriti, nature, knowing it to be the interaction of the tanmatras as sense organs and motor organs on one side, and the sense objects on the other side. So it is the interaction. Jnani knows always the perception of the world is only in interaction between the sense organs on one side, that is the subject, and the subjective points, the 5 gross elements and their modifications on the other side, which appear as object. So it is the interaction between the object and the subject, between the person and the scene. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. So these interactions, Jnani knows, will bewitch your mind for a common man. So he is beyond that, knowingly well that this interaction, guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate, a jnani is no more affected, no more influenced. So he is no more attached. Iti matvana sajjate. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. That is Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. See, the point here is there is a lot of difference in the perception of the perceived world from the standpoint of a jnani and from the standpoint of a common man, a jnani. So this is the distinction we have to always remember. Always we have to remember this distinction. So he continues, Acharya continues. समूलमेतत् परिदह्यवह्नौ सदात्मनि ब्रह्मणि निर्विकल्पे ततः स्वयं नित्यविशुद्धबोधा आनन्दात्मना तिष्ठति विद्वरिष्ठः. समूलमेतत् परिदह्यवह्नौ सदात्मनि ब्रह्मणि निर्विकल्पे ततः स्वयं नित्यविशुद्धबोधा आनन्दात्मना तिष्ठति विद्वरिष्ठः. Bodhananda Atmana Tishtate Vidvarishtaha. Keywords in this shloka. In ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. Vidvarishtaha. Acharya is using this term. Please remember. Please listen carefully. Vidvarishtaha. Acharya is using this word. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಉತ್ತಮೋತ್ತಮನಾದಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಅಪರೂಪವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಬರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಅಪರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಯಾರು? ವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ. ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಸಪ್ತ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆ ಭೂಮಿಕೆ, 7ನೇ ಭೂಮಿಕೆ, ಅದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅಂತ ವೇದಾಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅಥವಾ ತುರ್ಯಗ, ಜ್ಞಾನದ 7ನೇ ಭೂಮಿಕೆ, ಕೊನೆಯ ಭೂಮಿಕೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಕ್ಲುಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅಪರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಅಪರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠನಾದಂತಹ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಈ ಶರೀರವನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೇಹ ಮತ್ತು ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ದೇಹ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾರಣ ದೇಹ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೆಂಬ ಅಗ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ ಸುಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಉಂಟಾದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಕಳಚ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತಾನು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣ ಜ್ಞಾನಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಿಂದ ಸದಾ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಆನಂದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ ವ್ಯವಹರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಕ್ರೀಡಿಸುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಇದೇ ಮಾತನ್ನು ವಿಶದೀಕರಿಸಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೇಂದ್ರರು ಈ ಒಂದು 150-200 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿ ಹೋದಂಥ ಮಹಾನ್ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪರು, ಯತಿವರಣ್ಯರು, ಅವಧೂತ ಶಿಖಾಮಣಿಗಳು ಆದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೇಂದ್ರರು ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ರಚನೆಯಾದಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮವಿದ್ಯಾವಿಲಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತತೆಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತನ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಪರಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಆತನ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣವಾದ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತಾನಂದವನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆತ್ಮವಿದ್ಯಾವಿಲಾಸ. ಅದನ್ನು ಸೂಚ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಸಮೂಲಮೇತತ್ ಪರಿದಹ್ಯವಹ್ನೌ ಸದಾತ್ಮನಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪೆ ತತ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನಿತ್ಯ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಬೋಧಾನಂದಾತ್ಮನ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ ವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠಃ. ಸದಾ ವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠಃ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನಿತ್ಯ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಬೋಧಾನಂದಾತ್ಮನ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ. ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಾರವಾದಂತಹ, ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪವಾದಂತಹ, ಸತ್ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾದಂತಹ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಪೂರ್ಣಾನಂದ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಜಾನಂದ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿತ್ಯ ಶುದ್ಧ ಜ್ಞಾನಾನಂದ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಯು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಈ ಶರೀರವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಶರೀರ ಅಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಶರೀರವನ್ನು ದಹಸಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊಡೆದಾಕಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸಮೂಲಮೇತತ್ ಪರಿದಹ್ಯವಹ್ನೌ ಸದಾತ್ಮನಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪೆ. So this is the important shloka where Acharya is dealing with and explaining to his disciple the real Brahmajnani, how he behaves in this material world to the onlooker, to the Ajnanis. What is the difference between Ajnanis and Ajnani? He is using the word first time vidvarishtaha in this shloka. ಸಮೂಲಮೇತತ್ ಪರಿದಹ್ಯವಹ್ನೌ ಸದಾತ್ಮನಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪೆ ತತ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನಿತ್ಯ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಬೋಧಾನಂದಾತ್ಮನ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ ವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠಃ. In Vedanta, there are 7 levels of Jnana Bhumika. It's called Sapta Jnana Bhumika. And the 7th one, the highest one, is called Brahma Vidvarishta Sthiti. The 7th one, 7th Jnana Bhumika, as per Vedanta, it is called Brahma Vidvarishta Sthiti. Also, it is called Turyaga. In our common sense, it can be referred as Avadhuta Sthiti. So, what Acharya is telling here? Such a Brahma Vidvarishtaha, the highest knower of the truth, the very few realized masters, very few Jivan Muktas, according to the prarabdha of their sharira in this birth, will exhibit that type of avadhuta sthiti that is referred as Brahma Vidvarishta Sthiti, Turyaga Sthiti. Not all Brahmajnanis will reach that state. A very few, as ordained by the divine Sankalpa, by the Ishvara Sankalpa, they exhibit those manifestations of Brahma Vidvarishta Sthiti. So what has happened here? Acharya says, Samulametat Paridahyavahnav Sadatmani Brahmani Nirvikalpe Tata Swayam Nitya Vishuddha Bodhanand Atmana Tishtati Vidvarishtaha. So the such a highest knower of the truth, such a Brahma Vidvarishta, such a Avadhuta, remains firmly established without any iota of doubt, remains totally, firmly established as the eternal, pure, blissful Atma Swarupa, as eternal, pure, blissful Pratyagatma Swarupa. After burning his body consciousness in Jnanagni, At the time of the dawn of the jnana, the body consciousness, Sharira Abhimana, is totally burnt. That's what Acharya is telling you. After burning the body consciousness in the Jnanagni, he becomes firmly established in his Atma Swarupa. Totally. Lord Krishna Paramatma uses one word for the same purpose in Bhagavad Gita. They are called, such jnanis are called Jnanagni Dagdha Karmanaha. Jnanagni Dagdha Karmanaha. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that the realized masters, they appear like burnt seeds. Normal seeds, if you sow in the soil, add proper nourishment, manure and watering properly, the seed sown in the soil may germinate into a new plant. Whereas a burnt seed, totally fried seed, if you sow in the soil, how much water you add and nourishment you add, that fried, burnt out seed cannot germinate into a new plant. So that is the adjective used in Bhagavad Gita. So the realized masters are called Jnanagni Dagdha Karmana. All their karmas are burned. So their body consciousness is burned anymore. No more they consider themselves as a body anymore. So that is one point here to remember. Again, a small digression. Yes, please. ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪ್ತಜ್ಞಾನ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಕ್ಲುಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬಹಳ ವಿಶದವಾದಂತಹ ಗಹನವಾದ ಗಂಭೀರವಾದ ವಿಷಯ. ಸಪ್ತಜ್ಞಾನ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಮೊದಲ 3 ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಮೆಟ್ಟಿಲುಗಳು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮೆಟ್ಟಿಲು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಭೂಮಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲಿನ 3 ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಲ್ಲೇ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು? ಮೊದಲನೆಯದು ಶುಭೇಚ್ಛ, ಎರಡನೇದು ಸುವಿಚಾರಣ, ಮೂರನೇದು ತನುಮಾನಸ. ಶುಭೇಚ್ಛ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸೆ, ನಾನು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು. ಸುವಿಚಾರಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ ಚಿಂತನೆ, ಆತನ ತತ್ವಚಿಂತನೆ, ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಗ್ರಂಥಗಳ ಪಠಣ, ಶ್ರವಣ ಮನನ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಗುರುವಿನಿಂದ ಶ್ರವಣ ಮತ್ತು ಮನನ, ಸುವಿಚಾರ. ಮೂರನೇ ಹಂತ ತನುಮಾನಸ. ತನುಮಾನಸ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರುವಿನಿಂದ ಅನುಗ್ರಹಿತನಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನವನ್ನ ಗುರು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ಶರಣಾಗತನಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ಜೀವನದ ಪರಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಸಾಧಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಪರಮ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಸಾಧಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಸಾಧನೆಗೆ ತನುಮಾನಸ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಜಪ, ಧ್ಯಾನ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ 3 ಹಂತಗಳು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಂತಗಳು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನೋತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ತನುಮಾನಸದ ನಂತರ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಿರಂತರವಾದ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸದಿಂದ, ಧ್ಯಾನದಿಂದ, ಜಪದಿಂದ, ಶ್ರವಣ ಮನನ ನಿಧಿಧ್ಯಾಸನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಅರ್ಥ. ನಿಧಿಧ್ಯಾಸನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ. ಅವುಗಳ ನಂತರ ಒಂದು ಶುಭ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಅದು 4ನೇ ಭೂಮಿ. ಸತ್ವಾಪತ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸತ್ವಾಪತ್ತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು. ಅದು 4ನೇದು. 4ನೇ ಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಜ್ಞಾನೋತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಈ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಲ್. ನಂತರ 5, 6, 7 ಯಾವುದು? 5ನೇದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, 6ನೇದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, 7ನೇದೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಸತ್ವಾಪತ್ತಿ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಐದನೇದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಅಸಂಸಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಆರನೇ ಭೂಮಿಕೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರೀಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಪದಾರ್ಥಾಭಾವನಾ. ಏಳನೆಯದು ಕೊನೆಯದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ತುರಿಯಕ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಗಳು. ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ವರ್ತನೆಗಳು, ನಡವಳಿಕೆಗಳು, ಅವರ ರೀತಿ ನೀತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ವಿಂಗಡಣೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಯಾವುದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೇ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. 4, 5, 6, 7 ಈ 4 ಜ್ಞಾನ ಭೂಮಿಕೆಗಳು ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿತ್ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವುಗಳ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಭೇದಗಳು ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So the 7 bhumikas known as Sapta Jnana Bhumikas in Vedanta, the first 3 are at the level of Ajnana only. Why? Because realization will not occur. The first bhumika, the first level is called Shubhecha. Shubhecha means the desire to know God, to understand God suddenly comes. It is spiritual desire, not religious. Suddenly you want to know about God. Where is God? How is God? What is God? Mind becomes totally involved in such questions. You start reading, you start meeting people, you start discussing with people. Then you start searching a guru in that direction. That is Shubhecha. That is the first level. I remember here, Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi once made a very beautiful, very simple, very short, very precise, very pertinent, very meaningful statement. You know what he said? Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi said, even to think about God, God's grace is required. I repeat. Even to think about God earnestly, God's grace is required. So that is Shubhecha, first level. Then Suvichara. Then the inquiry, self-inquiry commences. Who am I? What is my purpose? Why I am born? Where I am going to lead? What happens after death? Do I come back? What is my real purpose? Who am I really? Am I this body or not? Am I something inside? What is the jiva inside? What is the soul inside? All such questions will start. Second level. That is called Suvichara. Then you start searching a guru. You here and there, you start reading all spiritual books by yourself. It is as if you are pulled from inside. You are goaded from inside automatically. Your mind, whenever there is free time, you automatically run behind godly books, saintly books. You start searching for saints. You start searching for jnanis. You start searching for gurus. That is second level. First level, Shubhecha. Second level, Suvichara. Then, by the grace of God in this birth itself, if you come across a realized master who accepts you as a disciple or a devotee, then your third level, Bhumika, will come. That is Tanumanas. Then Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana will continue. Then, as ordained by the Guru, you start doing your spiritual sadhana earnestly. You start doing the japa, you start doing the mantra japa, or you start doing meditation. As guided by the Guru, as per your inner call, you get involved gradually, seriously. See, that is the third level, Tanumanas. So up to this level, Vedanta says, all the first 3 levels are in the mode of ajnana, nescience. They are all in the mode of ajnana. Even meditation is in ajnana mode only. Please remember, it is very difficult for me to explain further and further and further. It will take a lot of time. Even when I say I am meditating by the grace of Guru, even when you say daily I am meditating by the grace of my Guru, yes, I am doing japa every day. Yes. But all this we have to remember, as Vedanta declares, Acharyas declare, that they are all in the mode of ajnana only. It's all happening at the worldly consciousness level. It's all play of the worldly consciousness. That is what called ajnana mode. Even when I say I am doing meditation, it is ajnana only. When I say I am doing japa, it is ajnana only, because that body consciousness is there here. I say I am. I say I am doing. I am doing this, I am doing that. Just like I am eating this, I am drinking that. I say boastfully, cheerfully, that I am doing meditation, I am doing japa, I am doing mantra japa. I do mantra japa for 2 hours in a day. I sit for meditation for more than 1 hour a day. See, I. So again, it is in the mode of action. So the first 3 levels of the Saptajnana Bhumika, they come under the heading Saptajnana Bhumika. But Vedanta says the first 3 steps or levels are in not Jnana Bhumika, they are in Ajnana mode, because we are bound by avidya. At the individual level, at the Veshti level, I am bound by Maya, which is called avidya, primary ignorance, pramada. What is the ignorance? What is that false impression I have? False identification I have, that I am the body. So that is the primary implicit false identification. That is ajnana, ignorance. So the first 3, which one? Shubhecha, Suvicharana, second one, Tanumanasa, all the 3 come under modes of ajnana. So I don't know whether I am more confusing, whether these words, the highest levels of Vedantic knowledge, whether it is being fruitful for people who are listening this discourse, I have no idea. I only sincerely pray that let there be no more inability for me to convey what I really wanted to convey, in the sense what Guru from my body wants to convey to all of us, including myself. So at this level, shloka number 414, stopping here by the Guru Sankalpa. I'll continue this Saptajnana Bhumika. It's a long subject in the next discourse. I think there it will be, I hope it will be more. So with the Guru Sankalpa, today's discourse, I'm stopping it here. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namo Bhagavate Viraj.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari.
This was beautiful, with a lot of anecdotes from Ramana Maharshi and, of course, our own Gurudeva. Thank you for sharing those. They are invaluable.
Hari Om, sir. Hari Om. So these are all pearls of wisdom coming out by the grace of the Guru.
Amazing, sir. Thank you for sharing them. You are so blessed to be having experienced that yourself. That's such a blessing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So next week.
Yes.